My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Another big fight week ahead of us. We have 3 fights with 5 rounds in them, which makes your DraftKings lineups a lot trickier to pick. With that being said, we're going to walk you through
I really want this tricky thing to become a thing. It's so funny.
It's
first it was just funny, and now you're like trying to like hammer it home.
I'm not trying. It's in my vocabulary.
Hey guys, I said tricky again. Did you hear me?
Okay.
Jacob, this is where you sing the tricky song for like 2 minutes until Angelo really gets annoyed.
Well, Jacob's just going to get muted or kicked off. It's the easy. This new software makes it super easy to just goodbye. Anyway, this is one of the harder cards to play because we do have 3 different fights that are 5 full rounds. We have a bunch of live underdogs, but we're going to walk you through our final DraftKings lineups. There has only been one change this week. Camacho is out. There's a new opponent for Favola. Let's walk through our lineups. I will go first. I didn't make many changes. I went back and forth on one, and I decided not to, but I'll tell you in a second. So I have Eric Anders at $8,600. This is a rematch. Anders versus Stewart is a rematch. I think Anders will win the rematch. The first fight was a no contest. Anders dropped him with a punch, then an illegal knee. Fight was ruled a no contest. That's history. I do think that he showed he has the power to knock Stewart out. So I'm going with Anders here at $8,600. The problem is, my concern, I guess, is that Anders will be so excited for the knockout that that's the only thing he's going to be looking for. With that being said, I'm leaving him in my lineup and I'm keeping him there. Then I have Paul Craig over Hill. If you look at my lineup, I have 3 fighters over $9,000. You can only do that if you have some big time underdogs. I think Craig is one of the livest underdogs. And watch our betting guide if you don't believe me. It's styles make fights, and his grappling heavy style versus Jamal Hill's incredible knockout power style. I think Paul Craig wins this. I have Leon Edwards over Nate Diaz. My heart will be with Nate Diaz. My brain is with Leon Edwards. Leon can win this fight. I don't want to say any way he wants to, because that's not true, but he will just dictate the pace, dictate where the fight goes, and he will win this fight. He can outstrike Nate. He can take him down if he wants to. Leon wins that fight. So I have him at $9,500, a lot of money. But again, this is a 5-round fight. That is a lot of rounds to score points. Then I have Figueiredo over Moreno, $9,100, another rematch. The last fight was a draw, but the only reason it was a draw was because of an illegal groin strike. So they took a point away from Figueiredo, and then the fight was a draw. So he was going to win a decision there. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. He did not look good in weigh-ins. With that being said, I still think he has a chip on his shoulder. He's going to go out there, and he's going to win this fight and score a bunch of points. It's 5 rounds. Again, then I have Belal Muhammad over Damian Maia. This is the least confident in my lineup. I'm confident, but Damian Maia is Damian Maia. Like, this would not be the first time that he went out there and did what people do not expect him to do. Look what he did to Ben Askren. And granted, Belal Muhammad is better than Ben Askren in striking.
Outboxed by Ben Askren that fight.
What?
Damian Maia was getting outboxed by Ben Askren.
It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. If Belal Muhammad takes Maia down because it's in his bones to do that, there may be trouble there. There just might be. With that being said, I have Belal Muhammad.
I was trying to defend your pick, and you like trashed yourself.
No, he's in my lineup. I think he wins.
What the hell was that? I was literally defending, and you were like, no, Belal might get submitted, but he's in my lineup.
Arguing against your own pick.
Yeah.
But my point is, I literally opened this with saying that's my least confident pick. I think Belal wins. I think he beats Damian Maia, but Damian Maia is the livest 40-something-year-old on the UFC roster. If you don't like this pick, switch him for Frivola. You can afford Frivola with this lineup. I switched him for Frivola, and then I did research on his opponent, and I was like, I think Bilal Muhammad's probably the better pick. So I came back to Bilal. Either way, I do think he wins. I think he scores a ton of points. There's just that doubt in my mind because they have very similar styles, and Damian Maia is Damian Maia. Anyway, I kept Bilal Muhammad. And then I have Marvin Vettori at $6,900. Big time underdog. Another rematch. He lost that first fight. I know the scorecards say it was a split decision. He straight up lost it. It was not a split. He lost. It shouldn't have been split. With that being said, we have seen over the last few years how good Marvin Vettori's wrestling and grappling has gotten. And we just saw in Izzy's last fight the gaps in his wrestling and grappling. Taking him down is not the easiest task, but once you get him down, he literally has no answer, no idea what to do. He has not improved in that regard where Marvin Vettori has. I think Marvin Vettori wins $6,900. It's a 5-round fight. He has a head like a cinder block. So even if he gets touched up, he will not get put away. That's my lineup. I do like it. The only thing I went back and forth on was the Muhammad pick with Frivola. It's $100 cheaper, 89 versus 9,000. But that's my lineup. Jacob, why don't you walk us through yours?
Oozing with confidence, Jacob. Please turn
I'm
this.
very realistic. I'm not going to come out here and pretend, I'm just a normal person.
That you're good.
I'm for the people.
That would be right. This will be an easy cash week for me, Angelo.
I bet. You beat me once in the last 3 weeks. Congratulations.
I love these every week. The number of weeks he's factoring into his.
I'm not Jacob. I'm not the fake math. I'm not Jacob. Nice try. Yeah. First of all, I have a bet. I'm straight up betting Dan and Jacob, each one individually, if my lineup scores more than them. Let me know in the comments if you think I'll beat Dan and or Jacob. Jacob, do your lineup.
I'll give you guys all a clue.
Do me a favor, Dan. Do me one quick favor.
Against me.
One small favor. Shut the hell up and let Jacob do his lineup.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. All right, Jacob, go ahead. Let's get a little enthusiasm going on here. Tell them what's up.
Well, I was ready to go, and then you guys just had a 10-minute.
Not you guys. Dan was
yeah, I had this whole thing planned out.
20 minutes talking about how Bilal
still going. Jacob, I apologize for Dan. Sometimes he can't be controlled. It is what it is. But why don't you go ahead and walk us through?
Thank you, Angelo. You're starting to come around. I actually, it was funny because I was complimenting your lineup and you got so confused and started trashing yourself and you didn't know what was going on.
All right, you're out, Dan. You're back in. Dan, why don't you walk through your?
Yeah, so I have Calderwood because she's a big favorite, but DraftKings doesn't think she is. So I think she's got great value there at $8,200. I took Evloev.
I'm actually the worst person to ask.
You're like Evilov, okay, yeah.
By the way, guys, I just cashed 4 units at plus 140.
Oh man, watch our betting breakdown real quick. I'm sorry to break away from this if you're only here for DraftKings. Watch our betting breakdown. Dan and I, actually just me, and then you behind the scenes, we're real big.
I told you about the bet, Angelo. Thank you.
Excuse me, Dan. I'm explaining it. We're real big on Douglas Lima losing because of wrestling. He did. We cashed money. Jacob, finish your lineup. I'll allow it.
Yeah, so I took that guy. And then Felipe, I think he just dominates with his boxing. I love him in this matchup. I would take Felipe all the way up to $9,200. That's how confident I am in Felipe.
Are you serious? That's a real comment? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I guess you can't handle constructive criticism. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I forgot you were.
That was very constructive.
Delicate.
Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, so then I took Figueiredo at $9,100, Chase Hooper at $7,800, and Vettori at $6,900.
All right. Move him to the back of the line next time, Angelo.
So, Danny Boy, why don't you walk us through your lineup?
All right, hold on. Let me just mute my my Bellator stream right now. I count my money. First up, I got Craig. We talked about it. $6,800. One of the cheapest fighters on the card. I think he's very live to win this fight. I think if he comes out with the right game plan, goes for takedowns, Hill has been taken down plenty in other fights. So I think he's very live, and he's a heavy underdog. I like him for $6,800. So he made a lot of other more expensive fighters possibilities in my lineup. So then I got Drew Dober, $8,500. This fight at a minimum is going to be a 3-round slugfest. So he's going to score points. I don't think Rydell is going to knock him out. I think if anything, Dober could knock Rydell out. And I also think Dober is the better striker overall. So I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a lot of action. I think it's going to be a ton of points, and I think Dober's going to win. So $8,500. That was a great deal for me in terms of DraftKings. So I got him in there. Then I got Leon Edwards. We already all talked about it. Unfortunately for Diaz, this is a tough fight to come back to. I think Edwards is going to kind of have his way with him and probably score a bunch of points in a 5-round decision, or potentially cut him up and get a stoppage in the middle to later rounds. So $9,500, 5-round fight. A lot of money, but I think it's worth it. Then I got Figueiredo over Moreno. So listen, if the same thing happens as last fight, great. A ton of points. Actually, you know what? I think he only scored like 80-something points in DraftKings last fight.
Well, because you don't get the decision win.
Right, because it was a draw. Okay, so it would have been 110. Okay, all right, that makes a lot of sense.
120,
right.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think this fight's going to be different. I think Figueiredo is going to be hungrier, more motivated, and I just think he's going to get a finish in this one. I really do. So for $9,100, I took him. I did not play Moreno. I'll talk about that in a minute. Next up, I got Frivola. We talked about it. His short notice opponent, McKinney, who fought last weekend, so it's not a really true short notice in terms of cardio or anything like that. The guy's in shape. He fought last weekend. And the guy's tough. The guy's a good wrestler. He's got knockout power. He won his last 3 by knockout within under a minute and 30 seconds or something. But I just think Frivola is a gamer with cardio next to none, and he's going to push the pace, wrestle. And I think McKinney will be competitive in that first round. But if he doesn't score a stoppage somehow, which I don't think he will, I think as the fight goes on, he's going to get worn down and beat up. And I think Frivola is going to win a lopsided decision or get a finish in the second or third round. So $8,900, I think he's going to get a lot of points. And then last, I got Marvin Vettori. So one of the other cheapest fighters on the card. Listen, their first fight was a split decision, so you know he can hang with them striking, or at least he could that night. But I think the blueprint is out on how to beat Adesanya. Now, I know Blachowicz was bigger, heavier. A lot of people are saying that's the reason. But at the end of the day, when Blachowicz got on top, I don't think the weight was the biggest factor of what kept Adesanya down. I think Adesanya on his back did not have the tools to get up, didn't have the submission skills to make something happen, sweeps, scrambles. I think on his back, it's a problem for him. So I'm sure Vettori saw that. Guy's been getting better and better since their first fight. And in their pre-fight interview, which was a little chaotic, Vettori is not the most articulate of guys.
He's very emotional.
Very, very emotional.
It's crazy.
It was. But he did say there was one line I was able to make sense of, and he's like, "I've got more tools to beat you," and I agree with him. Something along those lines. It was something to the effect of, "I've got the skills that it takes to beat you," and I think he knows striking. He's probably at a disadvantage, but if he can wrestle and get on top and mix it up, he can be competitive striking. But if he gets on top, the guy scrambles well. I think Vettori's got a very good chance of winning this fight. So for $6,900, even in a 5-round decision loss in a close fight, he'll be well worth his value at $6,900. So one thing I'll say here though is if people, because a lot of people are hating the Craig pick, so I had $300 left over in my lineup. And if you're somebody who's like, I can't go with Craig for whatever reason, okay, fair enough. I could be wrong. He could get knocked out right away, but I don't see it going that way. With the $300 left over, you can also grab Moreno for $7,100.
5 rounds, 5 rounds.
So, and it's like the last possible. Fight. We saw last time they fought was the only time anyone's had a perfect lineup while doubling up the main event. I had a flawless lineup. 4-0-2.
Because it was a draw.
But nobody's ever done that. I mean, usually you lose. I mean, I doubled the main event, still didn't lose at all. 4-0-2.
And in fairness for that Moreno,
One of many flawless lineups that I've had.
In fairness for that Moreno,
What was that laugh for, Angelo? Have you even had one? You guys said one of many, like you have like.
You're so right, Jacob. Jacob, you are so right. Can I?
I am right.
Can I log into DraftKings right now and pull up last week's
I've had
lineup?
3. How many flawless lineups have you had? Just answer.
Can I pull up your last week's lineup?
Angelo's all about the recency biasy.
Answer the question with the number. How many flawless lineups have
Here,
you
I'll
had?
answer the question. Keep going, and I will type the URL in and pull up last week's lineup.
No, answer. I would love it.
All right,
That's
you
right,
were
yeah,
going
that's
somewhere before you guys started bickering. What were you going to say, Angelo?
I
Nothing
was saying
important.
that Moreno is interesting because I think Figueiredo wins this fight. But if you could afford Moreno, it might be worth it. He straight up won the scrambling and wrestling exchanges in the last fight. Like, he looked good.
Yeah, I know. I thought about it. I don't know if your echo's going off, but
It's not mine. I hear myself in one of your fixture stuff.
Anyways, I thought about it, but I like my Craig pick. I'm going to stick with that in my bets. I'm going to stick with it in DraftKings. And I think, listen, if you're playing a cash game lineup, I could understand the Moreno pick. But in a tournament, I'm telling you right now, Craig is going to be low owned. I think he's very, very live. So he could be the difference maker in a big lineup. So that's who I got right now. I feel pretty good about this lineup. And yeah, I can't wait for my incoming Venmo money from Angelo.
You know what's funny is I already sent him 50, so he would have to send me back 100 once I won to really piss him off. It's like a mental warfare thing, and he like sent it back. He threw like a whole thing about it.
I didn't send it back.
Yeah, no, he's keeping all of it now. We already.
You said I'm sending this back. I'm not doing this. Like, just completely got in his head. It was amazing. You know what happened? I thought about this too. If I was UFC, tell me this isn't genius. If I was UFC champ and I was about to defend my belt,
I think give them the belt.
I think the Friday night I would have the belt sent to the room, knock on the door, and just here's the belt. So they're like, now what do I sleep with? What do I? And then it's like in their head. It's like, here, you have the belt. You know, there you go. You wanted it.
Well, so first I'll acknowledge your request. That is not genius. And
I think it's genius.
And then second of all, it's definitely not genius when you're giving somebody money and then arguing with them while they have full control of the money and talking trash about how it's mental warfare and they're going to pay you back double. Angelo's just going to keep the money. He already told me. It's gone. Your money's gone. So definitely not genius. Well, good luck. We'll see how it goes.
We've shaken on a $100 bet before and he didn't pay it, so it wouldn't surprise me.
All the more reason you should just Venmo him.
Yeah, that makes your case even worse.
Mental warfare.
Either way,
genius. Brilliant. If you really want to get to him, you'd Venmo him 100 and me 200, and then just tell us that we're gonna have to pay you back double. That's what I would do if I were you.
Either way, those are our DraftKings lineups. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what your lineups look like in the comments, and let me know specifically if you think I beat Dan and Jacob with my lineup. We will see you.
Wait, why is it just you? Like,
everybody on
Angelo.
I'm betting both of you.
Oh, Angelo's service is running
He touched his mouse, so now you can't talk to him.
Right.
Now it's my show.
I said
it's my show now. You sit back there and lag.
What are you talking about? I said I'm the one betting both of you. It's me versus you two. That's why. Okay.
Anyways,
thank
till next
you.
time.
We'll see you Saturday.